So today I'm gonna do my November TBR. I have a bit of a complicated TBR this month just because I'm in the middle of a lot of books. It's nonfiction November and I don't read a lot of nonfiction. Not because I don't like them, mind you, but just because it takes me a lot to get into it, and I find them so fascinating and I love tabbing them, but which means that I don't listen to them a lot on audiobook unless it's like a biography. So yeah, so it's more physical reading, which I'm still at a weird moment where I'm in the middle of like a video game, and so it's limited physical reading time. And then on the other side, I'm a little tired from all the reading that I've done the past few months. So I kind of want to pace myself. So yeah, I'm dealing with all of these to say that it was hard to come up with a November TBR. So this is gonna be a half realistic, half tentative TBR. The realistic part is the ones that I'm in the middle of and that I want to finish, because that's gonna be my priority. I don't want books to be sitting in my currently reading for too many months, and especially not bring them in 2025, because before you know it, it's gonna be 2025, which is crazy. And yeah, I'm not bringing any of these books to 2025, so I absolutely need to read them. So here are these books. I have a convenient side table now, so I can put like all my books right next to me. And here are all the books I'm in the middle of. It's a lot. I concede you, it's a lot. And actually there's another one that I'm listening to an audiobook from my library. So I have 6 books that I'm currently reading, and just, I don't know what to tell you. It has happened in the past, but it has never been this bad. So the one I'm currently listening to is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. That one I'm almost done. Like that one I'm like positive I'm gonna finish. I think I'm like 70% done in the audiobook. I'm very much enjoying it. It's the unhingedness I wanted for Halloween. Granted, it's way past Halloween, but it's the unhingedness I wanted. Latina authors do spooky and unhinged women like no other. I love it. I honestly really, really love it. So yes, I'm in the middle of that one. Very positive that I'm gonna finish it. I'm still in the middle of Incendiary, but that's a buddy read, so I don't mind this one taking long to finish it. And also, I kind of sped through it because I was really into it, and now I feel bad. Ida, if you're saying this, I'm sorry. I just was really enjoying it. But I want to wait for you. I'm not finishing this until you're there with me. So next we have this was shameful. Nocturno de Chile by Roberto Bolaño. I need to finish this one. I don't know how I'm gonna finish it, but I need to finish it. And it's not that I'm not enjoying it. Like, I'm not forcing myself. I am a little bit. Not because I'm not enjoying it. Like, it's not a bad read. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm not in the mood for it anymore. But I feel bad giving up on it. I don't want it to leave a bad taste in my mouth and then I never pick it up. So I absolutely want to finish this. I'm less certain that I will, but I'll try. I will try, I promise. The next one is The Jumbies. Less bad, but I feel like in the same vein as this one, if I don't put my head in it, I won't finish it, which is ridiculous because I should be able to finish it. It's a middle grade book. It's so short. I need to sit down and like focus on it because the story is not bad. So there's really there's nothing stopping me from reading this book except me, I guess. But so The Jumbies, that one I'm more positive that I'm gonna finish it. Like, I really wanna set my head into it. The other one I'm in the middle of is It Would Be Night in Caracas by Karina Sáenz Borgo. That one is for my reading through Latam. So this, I need to read it first because it was a challenge of mine. I wanna read through all Latin America. I gave myself the challenge. I have no reason not to go through with it. So I really wanna focus on this one too. I barely started it, like I'm only 30 pages in, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely continuing this one. The other one I started, which was, again, I'm not too far into it, but this is a novel written in verse, which is Chlorine Sky by Mahogany L. Brown. And yeah, don't you love this cover? I really like this cover. So this is kind of a palate cleanser because, as I've said in my previous video, like my October wrap up, I'm a little bit like, I read so much horror or horror adjacent books and graphic novels that I need like a break from it. And so this, along with like another graphic novel that I actually have already finished, was kind of like, I needed like small, short palette cleansers that had nothing to do with horror and that were just either like, in this one is very like contemporary and is dealing with like friendship and identity, like cultural identity, I would say. And the other one was like the fluffiest graphic novel. So yeah, I need like some palette cleansers in the middle of all of these pretty intense reads, because even though they're not a horror, this one is pretty dramatic. This one is middle grade, but it's still horror. And then this one is so intense. This is a stream of conscience. Shouldn't like, I feel like I should read it as an audiobook, honestly. But I don't want to buy an audiobook of a book I already own. Also, in general, I find it really hard to buy audiobooks. And there's no way, it's not on my library. So I really need to get into it. So anyways, those are like the books I'm in the middle of. These are the books I want to prioritize and that realistically I should be able to finish this month. I have some things going on, but not too much going on. I know Salon du Livre de Montréal is gonna take a few days of my time, I would say, but I don't have that much going on, and so I should be okay. So, you know, like fingers crossed, I should be able to get through these. Then, because it's nonfiction November, I selected a few nonfiction that I own. I have a whole shelf of nonfiction books. Some that I've read, like I keep them all mixed in, read and unread. But I have a whole shelf. I would say at least 3/4 on unread, but they're all things that I'm very interested in. So here I'm gonna go through like, these are the possibles. Yeah. These are like my possible nonfiction November reads. Considering they're nonfiction, I'm probably not gonna go through all of these, realistically speaking. The one I'm pretty sure I will is Step Aside Pops by Kate Beaton. So this is the sequel of Heart Vagrant collection. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Like it has like little nuggets of history in like a funny way. I think nonfiction doesn't always have to be so serious, and I take those kind of funny stories as like an entryway of maybe a subject or a theme that I have never heard about, or I kind of did, but now it made me want to learn more about it. So those are like little doors to me of things I can like investigate more, research more, and just learn more about. So there's this one that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get to. The other ones, I don't know, we'll see. One of the most recent nonfictions that I bought was River in an Ocean. These are essays on translation, and I do read a lot of translated books. Not most of my books, but a big chunk of my books are translated, and I just thought the subject was so interesting that I kind of wanted to get more into it. So I've heard a bit of a translation by Mariana Enriquez. She did a book event here in Montreal, and I went to it, and there was a moment where we were asking questions about translations of her books, and I just think it's so interesting. And I'm interested in that. I don't know for any of these like books. I'm not sure that I'll finish them in November, but definitely they're books that I want to start in November, and if I get really into it, maybe I can go like more in depth of like what I've learned from this essay. So excited about this one. One that I took at the library, that I took at an old library book sale, was Free Will by Mark Balaguer. I don't know much about this. This is from the MIT Press and Essential Knowledge series. So I think they're like little booklets. This one specifically is like more philosophy. They're like little booklets of, I want to say almost like an essay on a certain subject, and then this one is about free will. And I think it's interesting. I know like there's a lot of jokes about free will, and like, you know, you realize you have free will, so you do something crazy and out there because, you know, and it's just, I think it's fun. I think it's a fun concept to like analyze and learn more about. So there's this one, and if I like it, I think I would be interested in like other books from that series, like from that collection, seeing like what other subjects they discuss. The next one is I Was Told There'd Be Cake, essays by Sloane Crosley. And I don't know much about Sloane Crosley. I remember when I picked it up, it was kind of popular on Instagram, so I kind of want to know what the buzz was about. I wouldn't say it's as popular now, but you know, you never know. This is more like a personal thing. I think it's more like her stories that she kind of tells through essays. I don't know that essays is the right word, since behind they say it's more like her stories. So I'll see if it's more like a personal thing or if they're actual essays. But yeah, I want to give it a shot because I've had it for super long, like years and years and years. Because at that moment I kind of heard about it and that it was good. I don't think it's the case anymore. So it's one of the ones that I'm going with it, knowing that it might not have aged well, that it might not be for me. And I'm okay with, like, after reading a couple of essays, if I realize that just it isn't for me, it wasn't as interesting as I thought it would be, or it didn't age well, like, I'm okay just DNFing it and like leaving it there. Like, I'm not gonna force myself, especially for nonfiction. There's just so many nonfiction in my shelf that I think would be interesting, that I wouldn't force myself to read personal essays about someone I barely know. So I'm going with it a bit apprehensively. I'm curious to see if I like at least her writing, which I think that's kind of what I want to discover. And if at least the stories are entertaining, you know, like if it's gonna be, it could be like my palate cleanser from these other books. So we'll see. I'm going cautiously with this one just because I've had it for so long in my shelves. And then the last nonfiction I have is Thunderstruck by Erik Larson. I have two actually from Erik Larson. And this one I was able to find the audiobook. So I think if I enjoy, I'll see. Oh, and I guess I had started it when, I don't know, but apparently I read 33 pages of it. I'm not gonna count it. I'll start it from scratch. I have no idea what I read about this book. So yeah, I'm very interested in his writing and like what the story will be. I'm scared it's gonna be too heavy, which is why I took it on audiobook. And because it's a nonfiction, I think it'll be fun to like listen to it and like tab it at the same time, so I can keep kind of like either like my thoughts or like things that I want to look more into and everything. So I think I'll do both, because it is under 400 pages, which I think is a lot for me already for a nonfiction. But on top of it, it's written, like, I don't think you'll be able to see, but it's written super small and barely has any margin. Like, they're non-existent. Like, this is a lot of information packed in this book. So I'm gonna listen to this bad boy and tab it in my physical book, which means I'm very confident that I should be able to get through it. And yeah, I don't know. This is my TBR. As you see, I'm like kind of mad with it, and it's okay. And it's okay. It's just one of those months. I just really want to focus on the books I'm currently reading, and I'm giving Nonfiction November a try because I do like nonfiction. It's just that I never give myself the space and the time to like slowly read a book and tab it and look more into it, and just, yeah, I don't give myself that space because I get so carried away with reading good books, and then I pick up the other one and the next one and the next one. So I'm just gonna pace myself this month and just go through them more slowly. And of course I have like other audiobooks that might coming in my library, so I'll read other books also. One of the books, and actually I still have my fall TBR technically that I need to read from, which I did, I mean, last month. Most of the books that I read were from that TBR, so that there's that, like, I read most of them, and I don't realistically want to read all of them either. But one that I'm tempted to read from it was Manhunt by Gretchen Felker Martin, just because I've also had it for a while, and I still am very interested in reading, and I think it's the kind of book I would want a palate cleanser with. So the fact that I have this nonfiction to like break it up with would be good, because I feel like I've heard someone say that it's kind of violent for a horror story, and you know, we talk about trans identity and just gender. You know, we talk a lot about gender, but it's in a violent way. So yeah, I'm interested in reading it, because sometimes I like unhinged. You know, like Jawbone that I'm like reading right now is so unhinged, and I like some unhingedness in my books. I like authors exploring crazy ideas, and you would have it nowhere else but in books. That's one that I kind of want to get to, but like I won't force myself. I just want to break from horror. So yeah, that's pretty much my TBR. I have hope that I finish some of them. I don't know how many nonfiction I'll get to. That maybe in my wrap up I'll do like a fiction wrap up and a nonfiction wrap up, because I feel like for nonfiction I tend to ramble a lot more, because I feel like it's less spoilery and it's more like an interesting subject, and like talking to you maybe more about like the points where I find really interesting or why I didn't find it interesting. So maybe I'll divide my wrap up this month with like nonfiction and fiction, if I get to more than one, of course. And yeah, we'll see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, you can give it a little like. You can always comment what you're reading for nonfiction November. If, like me, you're in the middle of a lot of books, which one you want to prioritize. And if you want more content, you can always subscribe. I try to do a video, 1 or 2 videos per week. And yeah, I hope you have a good day and happy reading. Bye. No estoy pendiente a lo que tú estás haciendo, que yo no la estoy rompiendo, yeah.